Good evening and salutations, my Y&R fans. Wow, it's been a minute since I actually announced and actually done reviews on Y&R. So, going into this episode is somewhat like going into the last past couple of episodes. Because it's been the 50th anniversary of the show, there's parts where it's been good, and then it's just been parts where it's just been a giant mess. Now, obviously it's been kind of a mess because they're throwing in not just, well, first of all, they seem like they have damn near everyone in the entire cast on there except for, Mariah and Tess, but that's nothing new. Um, but they're also bringing back some people that haven't been on the show in a very hot minute. Some of these, even like people today, I just didn't even know who they were. I think one of the guys' name was Danny or whatever, which I'm not gonna lie, he was just pissing me off. They had this chick named Nina yesterday, and she also pissed me off. And I'm sitting there thinking, what are the odds that I actually have two Ninas that I just don't like? Amazing. But going into today's episode, episode felt like it was all over the place. Felt like it was all over the place. Audra being the usual snake that she is. In the beginning, where she couldn't get a drink, I felt bad for her because I'm just like, sit there and see this chick that they're trying to order a drink from you and you just like totally ignoring her. But then she slithers her way to Tucker and Ashley. And Ashley pretty much just kind of reads her like a book. And, you know, Audra's like, oh well I got Kyle's phone and Ashley's like, yeah, I know who that is. That's my nephew. So she go reach for the phone because she's like, all right, that's my nephew. And Audra pulls it away and it's like, oh, okay. Well, I'll go and find him. I've been mean to make an excuse to sit there and find him. I'm like, okay, all right. You're acting like a weirdo. That's fine. First of all, she walks up to them. She starts acting all weird and everything. And then she goes up to Kyle and she acts like a weirdo. And she seems like she's being kind of flirty with him. And of course, Summer comes downstairs and Summer's like, oh, well, I know who you are. You destroyed my brother and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, first of all, sweetheart, there is always three sides to a story. So the fact that she came up in Audra's face and being all, well, let's be honest, being all bitchy and everything like that was like, I'm sorry, it's almost like, did you not even want to sit there and hear her side of what happened? Or you just, but to be honest, I don't really like Summer, so like her attitude towards Audra is exactly what I expected. So Audra's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Here's your phone back, and bye. So before that, you got, yesterday Phyllis was acting like a deranged lunatic, and that pretty much how it was today, except for when they all burst into the room. You got Jack, Summer, and Kyle burst into the room. They see Diane trying to strangle the life out of Phyllis, because Phyllis is the type of chick that would sit there and just make you want to strangle the life out of her. So I see exactly why Diane wanted to do that. But Jack breaks it up. Phyllis plays the victim. She starts walking away and gasping for air. And, Summer walks in after her and she tells her sob story. Oh, she tried to attack me. She was a feral wild animal. And you see what she is. And of course, Summer's like, yeah, we ain't doing this. So I will give her I will sit there and give her a compliment because she didn't sit there and be like, oh, are you okay? I can't believe Diane. No, she was like, yo, you keep doing this BS over and over again. She called out on her BS. It's like, we're not playing this. Every single time you do this. And Phyllis does what Phyllis knows how to do best. Leave me alone, Summer. Don't approach me again. Stay away from me. And she runs away. I'm just like, I don't understand. What is it with these women that are like 57-year-old, 50, 60-something years old that's not there acting like children? I'm talking about her, and of course I'm bringing out Lucy from GH. But, she runs off, and there's one point where, Diane wants to sit there and give the announcement, and They go downstairs and Diane's like, "Hey, let's do our announcement or whatever," and they kind of look at her like, because even before then, they were sitting there talking crap about like maybe she didn't change, and I don't know, and they're going kind of back and forth. So when Audra hands him his phone, because Diane was like, "I tried to text you," and Kyle was like, "Oh, I lost my phone." And I even, it's funny too, because like I just spoke out loud, and we both managed to say it again. I'm just like, bro, you just lost $1,000 phone again? I was like, of course you did. You're rich. It's like, even when Jack was like, oh yeah, I lost the ring, oh, whatever. Like, Diane's like, that's kind of expensive. He's like, oh no, it's just money. Like, it's just like, I feel like these are the type of people that can practically sit there and take $100 bill, wipe their ass with it, and just continue to just move on with life like it's just no big deal. Um, but yeah, then she comes downstairs. Well, I don't think she comes downstairs. I think she was already there. But anyway, both Kyle and Jack apologized to her for doubting her and everything, and then they decided to go on with, the proposal. Because at first he was gonna go through with the proposal. He looks in his pocket, it's not there. And of course, that's when he was like, "Oh well, I'm gonna sit there and propose to you anyway. I'll just buy you another ring. It's no big deal. I think that what I really like $45,000. Oh, that's lunch money to us, pretty much." So he's like, "Oh, I'll buy a new ring or whatever." Um, and of course, I was about to sit there and say aggravated. You got Victor and Nikki just kind of looking and gawking and just being all snooty because that's pretty much what they do. Um, Which honestly, to tell you the truth, I was like, the less I could sit there and hear Nikki, the better, because I've dealt with her type before, where it's like she can have all the money in the world, she can have status and everything, and that chick will never be happy. She is sitting with the most powerful and richest man in that damn town. Okay, she has money, she has status, she talks about her maid and stuff like that. Yes, she has the audacity to sit there and look at Diane like, oh, I did all this and it's all about her. And I'm just like, oh my god, this woman is just way too much. Um, so, Jack does give the announcement and, yada, yada, yada. And Ashley's all like, oh, I'm feeling sick, I want to go. I'm like, all right, bro, just go. I was like, I mean, granted, she did really look pretty hot in that dress, but I was like, bro, you could just go. And of course, Tucker was acting kind of weird. There was one scene where Ashley's sitting down, Tucker's doing this, and he looks like he's drunk, like the dude's been overserved or something. I was like, bro, you sitting up there with this hot ass chick, and you decided to start being drunk? Like, what's going on? I didn't understand that. But they leave. Tracy and some chick who I have never heard of before congratulate Diane and Jack, and it also is that they're looking at Lily and Daniel dance. There's one point where it seems like they're about to kiss, and Danny the jackass, which I'm just going to call him the jackass at this point, is like, hey, I need to sit there and talk to my son for a minute. And he starts giving this unsolicited advice to Daniel, and I'm just like, bro, did he ask for your advice? And he even said that, he was like, yeah, I know, but just comes from being a parent. I'm just like, oh, God, how long am I actually going to sit there and listen to this guy talk? I was like, bro, I haven't even sit there and seen this guy that long, and already I'm just kind of annoyed with him. So he spouts off his little BS. He talked about, oh, Lucy this and Lucy that. I was like, listen, Lucy done went on with her life. Let this dude chill. Why don't you go back to being a rock star, whatever it is that you were doing when you weren't here? Just go. Like, and he said it. He was gracefully about it, whatever, and they hugged, and that was about it. But I was like, bro, you can just kick rocks, okay? Because your son didn't sit there and ask you for advice. Just like Nina did not sit there and ask Chance, Chance didn't ask Nina to sit there and fight his battles, but this dumb chick decided to walk up to Abby anyway. You know, the sad part is that I don't even like what Abby did. Okay. Her crying, her whining, the chants, what all the crap was just like, boo, just shut up. Okay. Because you weren't sitting there thinking about that when you were sitting there practically having a bangathon all through every inch of Devon's place. So spare me your tears and your sympathy and your like. No one cares. But it was something about the way that this chick got in her face that I was like, as much as I do not like what you did, and I don't know who this chick is, but when are you leaving? Okay, when when are you going back to whatever hole that you crawled out of? Because you need to be gone like yesterday. Like seriously. Um, what was happening in this episode? There's so many people. I couldn't even keep track of some of these people that. Let me pause it for a second. Hold on. Oh, Phyllis walks upstairs and she sees Jeremy, and Jeremy is bragging about how when he was on the streets and he didn't have money, he learned a valuable skill. Yeah, okay, guy, we get it. You learn how to pickpocket. Congratulations. Listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that that's an easy skill, and I hate that they're calling it a skill because let's be honest, it's very terrible to do. But don't sit there and try to act like you're the only person that knows how to do that. So you can just take that down a notch. And of course, Phyllis is like, yeah, we have to do it now. We're past no point of return, or some crap that she said. And I was like, yes, of course, boo. You alienated yourself from your children. You got fired from both of your children's job. Your friends barely tolerate you. So yes, at this point, you practically threw everything else away. So, yeah, yeah, you might as well go through whatever this plan is that you're gonna do to take down Diane, because apparently she made her whole life about that, like an absolute moron. Um, and then she goes downstairs and she's pretty much acting like a jackass, and it's like, oh yeah, let's toast to the lovely couple. And of course, Victor and Nikki is looking at this chick like, that's Phyllis for you. Like they just have that look on their face, like, yep, that's Phyllis. Like she just has that reputation. It's like on General Hospital, it's like, yep, that's Carly. You know, she's that chick. Actually, to tell you the truth, she reminds me more of Nina than anything else. Maybe because she just annoys me that much. Hmm. Man, I don't know which one actually annoys me more. That's a really good question. I gotta sit there and think about that for a minute. Oh, and I almost actually forgot because he just threw in so many people. Amanda, standing there acting like a creep, looking at Devon and Abby talk because they're talking about dropping a lawsuit and everything, and him just being happy about what Abby and the Newmans did and everything like that, and hugging and kissing. And then when they're about to leave, they get stopped by this chick, and I'm just like, no, 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 no. Why are you backsliding? Okay, when she practically poured Devon and Amanda a new one, I was happy because as much as I love Devon, um, bro, you were hella wrong. For him to sit there and be like, oh, you must have got pleasure out of this. Yeah, this must have been personal for you. Bro, she was sitting there taking care of her sick mother, and you decided to cheat on her. She caught you in the act, and you have the audacity to sit there and get in this woman's. I was like, bro, you done lost your damn mind. You done lost your mind. And Abby coming up, hey, I apologize for, practically doing with your man in every inch of his place. Um, my dad's like, what you, how, okay, my whole thing is like, how did she think that whole thing was going to turn out? It's amazing that she actually owns a restaurant. Because with that level of thinking, I don't, oh, then there's the whole Billy and Chelsea, which was like literally the weakest part of this whole episode. All she does is sit there and talk about. She practically feels guilty for leaving the party because that thing that kept getting in her face. And Billy's like, "No, it's cool," and yada yada yada. Long story short, they kiss. That was it. That was literally the weakest. Oh, I almost forgot about Sharon and Jesus Christ. How many people did they actually have in this episode? All right, I'm gonna get to them in a minute. But she told them both knew, and I was happy about that. Then as they're about to leave, she gets in their face. I was like, bro, and this should not. Okay, let me just reiterate this. This should not be oh, you go girl, yeah, you get him, yeah, you tell him who's boss or whatever. This shouldn't be one of those moments, because here's the thing: when she left both of them, it was flawless. Okay, what you're doing is backsliding now, because now you are getting in their face, and you are. It's like you didn't have anything to prove when you came into town. You did your job, and you handed them their asses, and I applauded that. But getting in their face now just comes across as this jealous schoolgirl. And that's beneath this woman. So I'm not a fan of that at all. It's like, what are you doing? Yeah, I think they both deserve it. But you don't need to get in their face to sit there and prove it. You are strong on your own. You already proved it by handing them their asses the first time. Getting in their face now is just like unnecessary. And it's backsliding. You want to sit there and talk about how you don't want to relive the pain, because that's practically what Abby was doing. Talk about, I did this and I did that. Girl, she don't want to sit there and relive that pain. So why are you going in her face to sit there and do exactly what you said you didn't want to do? Beyond me. I don't get that. Oh yeah, and then there was a scene. See, the problem with the Restless episode is that if it stood out on its own and we have more time to sit there and digest, they just got too many damn people in this episode. That's just what it comes down to. We got Nick and Sally talking about her baby bump and how people are worried. I mean, how people are looking at her and she wants to leave. And you got Adam that's staring at them like a creep, and I'm like, bro, stop. You also got this very fine chick right here next to you as a date. And he does sit there and thank her for putting up with his BS, and she's all like, oh well, we're not together anymore, we're just friends. And she offers her therapist reason of why she's, his friend or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of really doesn't go anywhere. It's just kind of there. I feel like there's so many other people that might be missing in this episode. I did talk about Victor and Nikki not really doing too much of anything. I feel like that's about it. I do like the new intro. Here's the thing. I don't think that this intro is going to stick. I know some people don't like new intro. I personally do. I personally do like new intro. Um, it shows that some people are actually going to be on here a little bit longer, like Audra. Um, So I like new intro. I don't think it's going to stick. I think it's just for the anniversary. So if anyone that doesn't like it, I'm pretty sure they're going to probably change it back into its old intro, which is fine. I like the old intro too. It is what it is. Um, Honestly, to tell you the truth, I still think the worst intro is General Hospital. It's like they put no thought into it whatsoever when they decided to do it. It was like, we're going to go for the cheapest crap we possibly can, and that's just how it's going to be. And it sucks. And I don't like it. And I hate it. And I think that's pretty much about that. I might have left some people out. It's possible. They just crammed so many of them in there. Again, I still have no idea who was with Tracy. But I'm pretty sure I'm probably not going to see her again because she was only in it for the special episode, just like Christina, which is like, why is this woman still in the show for if they're not going to give her anything to do? But whatever. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.